Still be the world's richest man after his divorce from his wife MacKenzie is finalized. Now, under the settlement, which they announced yesterday, she will receive nearly $36 billion in Amazon stock. Forbes reports that Bezos' wealth.
What you're about to discover will change the way you see wealth and power forever. In the world of modern empires, we are taught that power is accumulated, that fortunes are built to last for generations, guarded in fortresses of finance. But what if the greatest power move of all was to give it all away? This is not a story about the man who built the world's largest online store. This is the story of the quiet architect who was there from the very first brick, the silent partner in the creation of an empire, and how she orchestrated the most seismic transfer of wealth in human history, not as an ending, but as a beginning. This is the story of MacKenzie Scott and how she turned the world's most expensive divorce into a revolutionary new form of power. To the world, Amazon was the creation of one man, Jeff Bezos. The visionary, the titan, the face of a global behemoth that redefined commerce. And for 25 years, standing beside him, just outside the spotlight, was a woman the world knew simply as his wife. She was the ghost in the machine, a footnote in the story of a self-made man. But the truth was, she wasn't a footnote. She was a co-author of the entire story. To understand the financial earthquake that was to come, we need to go back. Back to before Amazon, before the billions, before the empire. Back to a New York hedge fund called D. Shaw in 1992. Jeff Bezos was a brilliant, rising vice president. Mackenzie Tuttle was a sharp, ambitious research associate. Her office was next to his. She could hear his famous, booming laugh through the wall all day. Intrigued, she made the first move and asked him to lunch. It was a meeting of two fiercely intelligent minds. Within 3 months, they were engaged. Within 6, they were married. But their story wasn't just a romance. It was a partnership forged in ambition. A year later, Jeff came to MacKenzie with a wild, almost insane idea to leave their stable, high-paying jobs and start a company that sold books on a new and proven platform called the Internet. Many would have seen it as a reckless gamble. MacKenzie saw it as an adventure. She didn't just support the idea, she became a critical part of it. She quit her job alongside him, and together, they embarked on a cross-country road trip from New York to Seattle, with MacKenzie driving while Jeff frantically typed up a business plan on a laptop in the passenger seat. But this is where everything takes a turn. This wasn't a case of a wife cheering from the sidelines. When they arrived in Seattle and set up shop in a garage, MacKenzie Scott became Amazon's first accountant. She was employee number 2. She negotiated the company's first freight contracts, managed the books, packed boxes, and wrote checks. She was there in the trenches during the grueling, uncertain startup years, a foundational pillar of a company that would one day conquer the world. For 2.5 decades, as Amazon grew from a garage startup into a trillion-dollar empire, MacKenzie stepped back from the day-to-day operations to raise their 4 children and pursue her own career as a novelist. The world saw Jeff Bezos, the CEO. They forgot about the woman who drove the getaway car. She became the silent partner, her immense contribution hidden behind the colossal shadow of her husband. And then, in January of 2019, after 25 years of marriage, a single, joint tweet sent a shockwave across the globe. They were getting divorced. And what happened next shocked even the experts. This was not just any divorce. This was the dissolution of the wealthiest couple in history. The stakes were astronomical. At the time, their fortune was valued at over $137 billion, almost all of it tied up in Amazon stock. The world braced for a brutal, public war for control. A messy, protracted battle that could destabilize one of the world's most powerful companies. The media, lawyers, and Wall Street all held their breath. But the war never came. Instead, just 3 months later, the resolution was announced. It was quiet, it was amicable, and it was revolutionary. This is the point where the story becomes unbelievable. Under Washington state's community property laws, MacKenzie was legally entitled to half of the entire fortune, roughly $68 billion. A move that would have diluted Jeff Bezos' control over Amazon and potentially thrown the company into chaos. But she didn't take it. In a move of extraordinary strategic grace, she took only a quarter of their shared Amazon stock, valued at around $38 billion at the time. Crucially, she relinquished all of her voting rights to Jeff, ensuring he would remain the company's single largest shareholder, stabilizing the empire she had helped build. She did not fight. She did not wage a war. She simply took her share and walked away, instantly becoming the third richest woman on the planet. For most people, this would be the end of the story. A quiet life of unimaginable luxury, a permanent vacation funded by a historic settlement. But for MacKenzie Scott, this was not an ending. It was an activation sequence. The real question is, what does a person do with $38 billion? Here's where things get even more intense. Just weeks after the divorce was finalized, while the world was still processing the numbers, MacKenzie Scott did something that no one expected. She signed the Giving Pledge, a promise by the world's wealthiest individuals to give away the majority of their wealth to philanthropic causes. But her pledge was different. It came with a manifesto, a public letter that served as a declaration of war on traditional, slow-moving, ego-driven philanthropy. She wrote, "I have a disproportionate amount of money to share. My approach to philanthropy will continue to be thoughtful. It will take time and effort and care, but I won't wait. And I will keep at it until the safe is empty." This was the climax, the emotional explosion. In that single statement, she stepped out of Jeff Bezos' shadow forever and forged her own, powerful identity. She wasn't Jeff Bezos' ex-wife anymore. She was MacKenzie Scott, a new kind of philanthropic titan. And then she began to move. While traditional foundations spend years on vetting, create complex bureaucracies, and attach their names to buildings, MacKenzie Scott did the opposite. With a small team of advisors, she began giving away billions. Not slowly, but at a speed that was dizzying. She gave to small, grassroots organizations, community colleges, and nonprofits that were often overlooked by other megadonors. Her donations came with no strings attached, no reporting requirements, no press conferences. She simply identified organizations doing good work and transferred them millions of dollars, trusting them to know how to use it best. To see the full picture, look at the numbers. As of late 2023, MacKenzie Scott has given away over $16 billion to nearly 2,000 organizations. She gives away money faster than almost anyone on the planet. According to Forbes, despite her rapid giving, her remaining wealth still hovers around $35 to $40 billion, making her one of the most powerful and influential women in the world. She has single-handedly disrupted the entire philosophy of philanthropy, challenging the very idea that billionaire wealth should be preserved in perpetual foundations. She took the machinery of empire building that she had learned at Amazon and repurposed it for dismantling a fortune. She is using wealth not as a tool for control, but as a tool for liberation. And the truth is, this story isn't finished yet. With every billion she gives away, she is not just emptying a safe, she is rewriting the rules of power, proving that a legacy is not about what you keep, but what you release into the world.